Today has been a day that's been blessed by God. I mean, every day is that, but when I was getting on the train to go to Philadelphia today, there was a woman who was I was talking to a woman who was selling churros on the bus, and there was a woman who decided to purchase some churros from her. And I spoke to her, it's very thoughtful for her to buy them from the community. And we just had to talk about God and just about the blessings that are coming. And she was like, I'm going to pray for you, Sarah. Amen, that Jesus and God gives you miracles and miracles and miracles today. And I was like, because I do believe in all faiths. I believe that that's a nice car. It's an old car. There's some old people in that car. And they call it a yellow car. But, I do believe that faith is something that is just a natural part of the fabric of existence. And, whether it be the Bible or whether it be the Tao, whether it be Allah, the Quran rather, or whether it be being in right relationship, whether it be equity, jurisprudence, no matter what it is that. So, no, not yet. We're going to get on the bus, okay? I understand it's very frustrating. We're waiting for the bus right now. You show me. Hold on.
There's a bus.
That is a bus. So now, I'm in Philadelphia after an amazing day. But there really is just this very clear feeling of God did, just, oh no, not the flowers. No. Yeah, yes, put it back. Yes, you put it back. You gotta be mindful and let's not step on the flowers, okay?
Look.
Oh.
I think there's a flower.
Yes. There's so many flowers. Oh. Okay. No, honey, don't step on the flower. Don't step on the flower. Yeah, the flowers. They're so beautiful. Yeah, so I'm posting this a couple of days late. Oh man, but this weekend was it was profound. This whole week. I've been very intentional about, praying and celebration and dancing into what it is that I know that I'm cultivating for my life. And the algorithm of my Instagram, it's a small thing, but I feel like I've cultivated a resonance experience as to where everything is nourishing my life. And it's true. If you know that you want to thrive and you set that as your set point and you allow your dreams to just naturally unfold from that, and for your thriving to water the thriving of life itself, your communities, for those that are aligned to it, you get experiences that are aligned to it. It's the natural process of the journey, and you learn everything that you need to know, because if you choose your set point to thrive, then you'll learn what you got to learn in order to be able to do it. And it's unlearning, actually. It's remembering. So I feel like this weekend I had just a major update to my internal resonance. Not in the sense of it's unexpected, because I've been patiently cultivating it. I've been working on a few things, on a few avenues of either income or projects or things that I'm interested in. Cultivating from inventions to styles of thought to whatever, and just taking small action steps towards it. There's a lot of things that are kind of up in the air in my life right now. There's one thing for sure: I am staying in the city that I'm at, but for a while, because I got some things I got to close out, and I am definitely. But in regards to that, I'm just getting everything together. My main focus right now has been on my lawful affairs, my legal affairs. And so yeah, I got this really intense pull to go to Philadelphia this past week. A homie is speaking, shout out to Amir Law. He was speaking at an entrepreneurship event, and knowing the private side of things, it makes all that much of a difference. It's like you just see life from the way that its natural law is supposed to be, right? Like, we are supposed to be the beneficiaries of God's love. We're supposed to be able to steward this land. And we could say God, you could say the Tao, you could say the great law of peace, you could say Ma'at, you could say insert whatever essential point of any spiritual text that there is that this is a very abundant multiverse. And if we desire to assist ourselves and assist the world around us, then we will be able to have a beautiful life. And a beautiful life is not fulfilled unless you are able to really handle your responsibilities and do what you can within the scope of what you can for the rest of life around you. And it's not about the most, it's not about the least, it's just do what you can. And, studying the private side, going to Philly, it was just this very I gotta go. It just makes sense. I gotta go. And, my finances, I know I'm a multi-billionaire. I've been patiently stewarding that. And I know it's gonna happen exactly when it needs to happen. I'm not trying to force it. And there's just this sense of knowing, it's oh yes, we're going to be stable. Everything's going to work out beautifully for us to thrive. Stable housing, stable whatever. Stable income, ability to express our passions, our creativity, our scientific research and stuff. And, so I got the tickets. It was thing after thing. I got $50, and then I got $100, and then I spent tickets and got the wrong kind of bus. I spent $100 on Greyhound tickets when I could have just spent $15. But I wasn't even mad about spending that money. I was just there it goes. I know that I've had a life of relative privilege that allowed me to have this foundation, for which I'm grateful, and to be able to allow money to pass through. And knowing that so I ended up being able to get the funds to get to Philadelphia. I was going to go with a friend, and then the friend wasn't available, and so it ended up just being me and the babies, and we ended up traveling by train. And the night before it, I was sitting out front with my babies and one of our neighbors, and just sitting talking, and because this block is awesome. By and large, everybody on the block looks out for each other. There's certain, squads have certain, this woman interacts more with that woman, and this woman, that woman, and this folk down here interact more with that folk down there. But everybody knows generally who each other is, and we were sitting out in front. One of the young ladies was out and about. She was 9 years old. She's a young lady who's so she was playing out in front, and my children were playing with her, and they were just kind of having a good time. And I was sitting and talking to one of my neighbors, and then the girl and the children went to go pick some flowers. So I followed them, and we were closer by our house, 2 doors down, and kind of right in front of my neighbor's car. And then someone pulled up and just started shooting at another car that was parked right in front of where we were sitting, where my neighbor was sitting, where me and my neighbor were sitting and having a conversation. And the guy who they shot died. And me and the children, luckily we were behind a car, and I was able to be with them and be still with them. And the young lady, she was distraught, but we were able to sit through it and breathe through it.
Hello.
Peace, King. And I think that was something that I did not allow to stop me from doing what it is that I need to do, which was wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to Philadelphia. And I didn't even have time to process it. My main priority was making sure, the children were safe, and so we ended up going to Philadelphia, and we went to the event, and it was, again, the private side is it's either you know about it or you don't. It's either you get it or you don't. And a lot of the people there did not get it, which is, I'm really hoping that more and more people will get it. And it was awesome to see my friend speak. It's awesome to see him speak. And it was good to see him. We got a chance to actually meet for the first time. I feel like, I've been coming to his courses, and he knows who I am, but we got a chance to actually talk, to embrace. I appreciated that the first question that he asked me was, how are the kids? I appreciated that. And, I actually had prepared a handwritten note to him, because equity is all about substance. It's all about the heart. Equity's in the heart first. So I gave him a handwritten note, just letting him know, my financial circumstances are not such that I can invest into what you've cultivated for your inner circle, but know that that's my goal. And in the city that I'm at, my intention is to very much do what needs to be done with the private sector out here. And there's a lot of folks who could benefit from this knowledge out here that really care about this city. So I just wanted I gave him that. I gave him some of my artwork, because, I feel like I'm an artist at heart. I'm an artist first. Artist and a scientist. And, anybody that I work with, anybody that I connect with, I am now just at a place where it's like, either you're operating from infinite intelligence standpoint and you're using it with the intention of stewarding consciousness itself, or those are who are going to be allowed to be in my closest circle, and it has to be very intentional. So the what's it called? So that was good. The next day, I ended up going to another event, Philadelphia, same day that he was hosting, and I chose to, instead of rushing me and my children out, I chose to take my time. And I showed up 4 hours late, 3 hours late. But I was like, I'd rather show up late and present than rushing and exhausted. Although I do wish I had been able to catch some of the I've heard some of the information that was shared before, how to get your passport and name correction. So I'm glad that I was able to, I'm glad that I already knew kind of what was being talked about, and I kind of have a knowing about some of it. But yeah, being able to and we got there, and it was very professional, very professional. I had my 2 babies, and they had just been on the train and it took us 4 hours by public transportation to get there. So they've been on the train. They were like, "Woo, it's ready to be outside." So they was ready to go. Who wouldn't be, right? So we went in there for about 15 minutes. Then they had a break and we got to eat. Caught some things about things called latches. Still so much to learn. And it's cool, and then about before the last half of the thing started, one of the women that was on his team was like, "I don't know if you'll be able to stay for this last portion. It looks like your kids are tired. It looks like they're ready to go." And I was like, "Oh, right. I guess they are kind of tired, and it does look like they want to go. I guess I'll just get my things together then." People pay $600 a month to be a part of that community, and so I did understand it. It was yeah. It makes me think about, but I did get a chance to say the whole thing about the private side is that, so they make this straw man, right? This fake credential that you operate in the public with, that they have control over. Your trust is essentially your own handmade straw man. It's like you get to decide the rules and regulations, and that's your interface with the world. So, you just got to act accordingly. In certain areas, you just have to know how to interface with their codes and statutes and go by due process. And there's certain ways you got to communicate things. You can't be belligerent. You can't be an asshole. But that's essentially it. And you are the beneficiary for everything on this land. And, I'm not indigenous to this land, so I don't really care about ownership of property or stuff or anything like that. And I think even regardless of that disposition, of that rather avatar identification, I don't feel, perhaps it's just my disposition to not have ownership. I think growing up in the middle class where I had everything that I needed and got everything that I wanted on a physical basis, whether it be video games or food or clothes, my mom wouldn't buy me clothes, so I would steal clothes, right? I stopped doing that, but I would get everything that I wanted, and it became very clear to me how in a life where you have everything that you want but you don't have that emotional foundation, that spiritual foundation, which I did actually in retrospect, but it wasn't necessarily very active. I had to seek it and create it myself, and my mother and father did have a strong foundation for me to bounce off of, so for that I'm thankful as well. But yeah, stuff don't matter. Being houseless, traveling just with the shopping cart, pushing our baby carriage, stuff don't matter. It does. It's nice to have good quality things. To have a good quality life, it's nice to have good quality things, but at the end of the day, if you lose it all, you're going to care more about losing something that you can't get back than stuff. Even priceless artifacts, quote unquote. It's nothing compared to your babies. Nothing compared to it's nothing compared to the feeling of truly living in your truth, of truly living in your heart, of truly living in a place where you know that exactly where you're at, you're doing the best that you can. And I think there's an excellence to that I appreciate. That simple truth. So yeah, after she told us politely that we had to leave, that was very passive, polite way of saying we had to leave. We did, and I didn't take it personally at all, because maybe a little bit, but I think that's more of a rejection wound that's taking it personal more so than actually taking it personal. It's like, oh, I got rejected. But nonetheless, of course I understand it's a business establishment. It's a business situation. It's not something that is meant to be, oh, whatever. It's not my life. It's not my container. That was not my container, right? There's rules and regulations, due processes and procedures that are just part of particular containers. And I'm glad that I did get to say briefly what I said to Amir, because his confirmation, because he gets equity. It's a lived experience. It's in your heart first. All the procedures and stuff, yeah, you can do that, but if you don't get it in your heart, you're not going to get it. You're not going to be able to do it. And it was just nice to have, because I know that he knows that. I know that he lives by that. And it was nice to see another reflection of self who's operating in such a capacity, at such a capacity, to affirm, oh yeah, that's exactly what I said about the trust being essentially your own handmade straw man. It was like, oh yeah, that's basically it. And me saying, it's like, these are the roles and these are the things you got to do when you see a public situation. You're like, you are fiduciary agent. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. And this is what you're supposed to do. And I'm going to do this and and this is what is supposed to come back to me. And being able to do that effectively, it was just nice to have that affirmed. On our way back, me and the babies, the whole time, it was about being able to get access to the room. It was about being able to get access to the information. And it was also really about having a space for me and the babies to just have some fun. We picked a lot of flowers. It was tough though, and it was, especially just the night before the shootout happening. And then, we traveled probably, I would say, 8 hours a day, 2 days in a row. So 16 hours of train travel, which is not unfamiliar to me. And the fact that it's not unfamiliar to me comes from the fact that I was houseless. So while we were traveling on these trains, my body was going through the nervous system experience of having been traveling on trains when we were houseless. And that was activating. We were tired from having to leave 5 o'clock in the morning the first day, and I was overstimulated or dysregulated, tired, all of that. And just, and on the train there, I had this very important realization as to how many times the people, strangers, have always given me love, have always given me support, have always been there at a moment when I didn't realize that I really needed it. There's my neighbor. She's wonderful. Another one of my neighbors. And it just made me think about how much this experience, so many times that it's been people who have lifted me, supported me, regular everyday people. And it made me think about the reason why I went to this event in the first place. The first place is because I love the people. I really love the people from a tender place. And there was something kind of activating about going to this space. The venue was activating, the experience was activating, and so it's just a lot of emotions, So it was, there was a moment on the train where, going back from the second event, where Imani just lost their shit. And, the history of abuse that I experienced, my body sometimes gets these shakes. And I can feel all the times that I was assaulted or beaten, or, what Imani has had to witness. And, it's like violence, when it's not really addressed, it travels down, right? And a big portion of having to heal myself is to make sure that I don't allow anything to transfer onto my children. And sometimes that rage is there, and So I'm sitting here on the bus, I'm taking deep breaths, and Imani's crying and crying and crying, and we're having this whole, because they're trying to, run on the bus, and I'm picking them up and holding them down, and just, it was a lot. But what was consistent across the board was that just across the board, culturally, demographically, whatever, there has always been support from the people. Always. And it was no different here. A woman came up and she said her son had been like that, very, very vocal, very energetically expressive, we'll say. I had people pray for me. People prayed for me. People asked if they could pray for me. And then on the last bus home, both of them started crying. And I just blew up. I didn't blow up, in anger, but I was holding one in this arm and another one in this arm. This one's trying to struggle and get out because they want to run around on the bus, and this one's just tired, and they're like, ugh. So they're both sobbing, and I was like, I can't. I just started sobbing. I just was like, it was like a big sob, a big cry. The whole bus was staring at us, and this woman who was sitting next to me on this side, she was like, it's okay, honey, it's okay. And it was just a profound experience this whole weekend. I feel like I just got anointed. I feel like I've been anointed or exalted, but something about this was very clear to me that I'm very much, there was a gentleman who was like, do not give up. Never give up. And that was powerful. So, I'm just going to continue to have faith in what it is that I'm cultivating, and have faith and continue to take action steps into making it happen. It doesn't have to be huge. I don't think that's what I'm really learning. It's not the huge things, although huge things do happen, but little steps accumulate towards those huge things. So I think the ultimateness of what I really experienced was how much I really love the people. Peace, King. How much I really love the people and have compassion for the people, and am discerning about who enters my life and who can stay and who can be cultivated and nurtured. But it's those people that I want to cultivate and nurture so that we can take care of the people. So, yeah, I just am blessed, anointed, exalted, highly favored, but anointed from the dirt of the earth, anointed by cherry blossoms, anointed by fresh dandelion tea, anointed by a warm breeze, So that does it. Thanks for checking out. This is my virtual diary. Normally I post them on Saturdays. This weekend was just a lot, so I waited a couple of days. I needed the capacity to do it. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you.